A grainy security feed showed a white Vauxhall Corsa pulling out of the lot before dawn. Behind the wheel sat a solitary figure, face angled downward, avoiding the lens. The vehicle belonged to Phoenix Spencer Horn, just 21 years old. Her car, a 2021 model, remained exactly where she'd parked it. That footage would mark the final time anyone could confirm her whereabouts. Phoenix lived in East Kilbride, Scotland, where she'd built a quiet life working at a local hotel cafe. Those who knew her described a gentle soul, someone whose kindness left an impression. She'd once told a friend that her boyfriend meant everything to her. The man she loved, a 27-year-old laborer, lived with her in a ground-level apartment. People living nearby would later recall hearing troubling sounds, raised voices cutting through the walls, then an eerie stillness that followed. November 16, 2024 arrived cold and unforgiving. Phoenix never appeared at work. She didn't call her mother, breaking a routine she'd maintained religiously. Hours dragged into a full day. Her loved ones reached out desperately, only to receive terse, mechanical text replies that felt wrong. The messages continued sporadically for 2 days. Inside the apartment, curtains stayed pulled tight. Narrow beams of light escaped through gaps in the fabric. By the third morning, neighbors detected an unmistakable smell seeping into the hallway. Nathan emerged from the flat carrying Phoenix's keys, his expression disturbingly empty. What had transpired behind that locked door during those 48 hours? Where had Phoenix gone? Was there an innocent explanation, or did the silence conceal something unthinkable? The night shift at Strathaven Hotel ended late for Phoenix on November 16th. She sent her mother a quick message. "I'll call you tomorrow." Those words would be their final exchange. She arrived home around 9 p.m. to the apartment she shared with Nathan in their quiet neighborhood. Residents later mentioned the living room lights burning unusually late before suddenly going dark near midnight. After the apartment plunged into darkness, disturbing noises drifted through the building. Investigators would pinpoint approximately 12:13 a.m. as the crucial time frame. No screaming, no crashing, just hours of unsettling quiet. Yet someone upstairs heard water running continuously and the unmistakable sound of something substantial being scraped across floorboards. The next morning, surveillance cameras caught Nathan behind the wheel of Phoenix's vehicle. He wore her jacket layered over his own clothes, hood drawn up. Despite his attempts at concealment, his face remained visible. Over the next 2 days, he appeared alone at various locations: gas stations, supermarkets, a pharmacy. Phoenix was nowhere to be seen. Her friends grew alarmed. Phoenix never ignored messages or missed work at the cafe without explanation. But this time, both happened. When someone texted her, the response felt immediately off. "I need a break. Everything is okay." Phoenix rarely replied that quickly, and the punctuation seemed unnatural. Her family instantly recognized it didn't match her communication style. By November 18th afternoon, a foul odor had spread through the corridor. A concerned neighbor knocked repeatedly, but found the door secured from inside. Anxiety rippled through the building when an ambulance drove past without stopping. Around that same time, someone from a nearby building observed Nathan sitting motionless on a balcony, staring blankly ahead while gripping an almost empty wine bottle. Officers arrived for a welfare check, prepared to break down the door if necessary. Before they could act, Nathan materialized at the building entrance. He said nothing. He just stood there watching them. One younger officer later described the encounter as deeply unnerving, like confronting someone who'd crossed into territory no person should enter. What happened inside that apartment? The disturbing twist: it wasn't Phoenix's mother or a worried neighbor who contacted authorities. Nathan made the call himself, after spending nearly 2 full days in an apartment permeated by death. On the morning of November 18, 2024, he finally stepped outside and dialed 911. His voice on the recording was completely flat, devoid of any emotion you'd expect from someone witnessing either a crime or a tragedy. The dispatcher later admitted his tone disturbed her profoundly. When police arrived, Nathan was already waiting at the front entrance. He didn't attempt escape or resistance, but neither did he display any emotion. Keys dangled loosely from his hand, his gaze hollow and distant. Inside, the apartment showed no signs of forced entry or conflict. Everything appeared mostly undisturbed. Dishes and silverware sat arranged on the table. A half-full wine glass rested near the stove. The tidiness itself felt wrong. That artificial calm shattered when officers entered the bedroom. Phoenix's body had been brutally dismembered, positioned on the floor surrounded by blood-soaked garments. Her head had been carefully separated and placed aside. Evidence suggested failed attempts to fully sever her limbs. Remarkably, the room wasn't chaotic. The only significant blood pooling existed beneath the bed. No drag marks. No trails leading to other rooms. Phoenix's phone lay on the table. Before her death, she'd managed to type a message containing only 2 words. A message she was too terrified to send. During questioning, Methan provided no useful information. He repeatedly claimed memory gaps, insisting everything felt foggy. Some officers initially wondered if substances might have triggered a violent episode. Phone records quickly dismantled that theory. Data extracted from Phoenix's device revealed messages sent to her mother after Phoenix was already deceased. The texts were fragmented, oddly formatted, and completely devoid of emotion. Most critically, they sounded nothing like Phoenix. Her family immediately recognized the tone and writing style were foreign. One by one, the pieces aligned, unsent messages, disturbing replies, an impossibly clean crime scene. The facade Methan attempted to construct wasn't accidental, it was deliberate. A scheme built on preparation, cleanup, emotional manipulation, and careful timing. No one could have predicted those seemingly innocent text messages would become the first threads unraveling the truth about the man Phoenix once called her soulmate. At first examination, the scene appeared strangely peaceful. No forced entry, no broken glass, no overturned furniture. Phoenix's bedroom looked spotless, almost suspiciously so. That very cleanliness became the smoking gun. Forensic investigators immediately recognized this wasn't the aftermath of chaos. This was an apartment scrubbed with such precision that virtually every trace of violence had been eliminated. Only the area beneath the bed had been initially missed. There, investigators found a long, broken blood trail concealed under a thin dust layer. The pattern suggested someone had dragged a heavy object toward where Phoenix's body ultimately rested, indicating she'd been repositioned after death. A single disposable latex glove, not belonging to the victim, was recovered from behind a cabinet. Strong cleaning solution used within the previous 6 hours was still detectable in the bathroom. The horrifying reality emerged once Phoenix's body underwent autopsy. She died around 12:30 a.m., 6 hours before Methan's vague, misleading report. The cause, strangulation with such force she had minimal opportunity to resist. Her arms showed no defensive wounds, no bruising. It appeared she may have been struck from behind or rendered unconscious before the attack. Clutched in her hand was a small strand of black hair that wasn't hers. Forensic scientists also discovered human tissue beneath her toenails matching Methan's DNA. These clues, the hidden glove, the partial blood trail, the methodical strangulation, didn't indicate spontaneous violence. They pointed toward a calculated, deliberate killer who planned the crime and cleaned the scene with practiced efficiency. Yet one small detail puzzled the forensic team. A faint scratch on the victim's left wrist. A minor detail that didn't immediately connect, but would gain significance as more evidence surfaced. From the outset, police knew Methan was the last person with Phoenix. He lived with her and had been the one to contact authorities, a gesture that seemed responsible yet disturbingly composed. Investigators understood confessions don't always reveal complete truth. They'd seen it before. The suspicious sequence of events raised deeper concerns. Methan claimed they'd argued that Phoenix threatened to leave permanently and he'd lost control. Yet whenever pressed for specific timing, he consistently evaded. Sometimes he said late night, other times early morning. An agent noticed his evasive behaviors, avoiding eye contact, licking lips, rapidly changing subjects, all unconscious tell. Rather than direct confrontation, police employed psychological tactics, presenting evidence instead of asking pointed questions. They showed CCTV footage of Phoenix's car leaving the parking area in early morning hours. Methan stumbled when asked who was driving. "I think it was me, but I don't remember where I went." His answer raised immediate red flags, especially since he'd been texting Phoenix's mother reassurances at that time. critical evidence soon emerged. Meathen claimed he called police the next morning upon discovering the body. Yet officers found a photo of Phoenix's body on his phone, taken at 2:00 a.m., stored in a hidden folder. No doubt remained. He not only knew what happened, but had documented it for reasons that remain unclear. Behavioral experts concluded Meathen wasn't genuinely shocked. He was carefully constructing the image of a grieving boyfriend, masking guilt behind manufactured emotion. During questioning, a seasoned detective asked what seemed like a throwaway question. "Did you see a small knife while cleaning blood off the floor?" Meathen responded without thinking, somehow revealing knowledge of a black-handled knife never previously mentioned. The room fell silent. The carefully constructed mask began cracking. Simultaneously, forensic evidence deepened suspicions. Phoenix had been killed from behind, explaining Meathen's DNA under her fingernails. Police discovered a paper bag in the trash behind the building containing long hair strands matching Phoenix's. No struggle indicators. Instead, the scene suggested prolonged, methodical control. Investigators uncovered numerous old text messages where Phoenix attempted breaking up with Meathen, only for him to respond with threats. "If you leave, I don't know what I'll do." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a neighbor's old security camera. The elderly resident had always worried about safety, though no one paid much attention to his system. At 3:00 a.m., footage captured Meathen carrying a large bag from his apartment to his vehicle. His hunched posture and deliberate camera avoidance directly contradicted his claim that he'd been sitting still at home in shock. The timeline crystallized. After killing Phoenix, Meathen remained in the apartment, showered and clean. He then executed his plan, driving around, sending deceptive texts, disposing of the murder weapon. Sometimes he stopped at gas stations. Other times, he simply sat in his car, scrolling through his phone or watching pornography. When questioned about these behaviors, he shrugged. "I can't control myself." What seemed minor became crucial. Wet shoes found in his vehicle. GPS data revealed he'd driven to a muddy area along the Clyde River that morning. Police investigation there uncovered a bloodied cloth and torn medical waste bag section, both containing DNA matching Phoenix. The fabricated statements, blood traces, and neighbors' camera footage reconstructed a calculated, methodical crime. Meathen hadn't lost composure. He'd carefully planned every step, spinning a story of innocence initially convincing enough to fool everyone. Yet no scheme is perfect. Even the most intricate crimes can unravel from a single misstep caught on camera. On June 17, 2025, Meathen was formally charged with first-degree murder and attempted obstruction of justice. The case proceeded to trial at Glasgow High Court, drawing global attention due to the shocking nature of the crime and the defendant's chilling demeanor. The judge observed as Meathen entered the courtroom, face pale and eyes vacant, as if he no longer believed his own narrative. In a shocking reversal, he abandoned his earlier statements. He stopped claiming innocence and admitted, "I didn't mean to kill her. All I could do was hold on to her." He blamed drugs, cocaine, overwhelming emotions. Meathen claimed his actions were driven by fear, not malice or remorse. The courtroom wasn't just shocked, it was stunned. How could someone meticulously clean blood, send fake texts, hide hair in trash, then spend hours in a car watching pornography? The contradiction seemed impossible. The evidence spoke definitively. The bagged hair, the phone, body photos, DNA under Phoenix's nails, chemical residues in the bathtub. The chain of fabricated messages, all captured on camera. This wasn't random acts. Each step had been carefully planned and executed. The prosecutor noted that while someone might lose control momentarily, they cannot remain in that state for 48 hours. During that entire period, Meathen's mind was clear enough to clean the scene, send fabricated texts, and lie in court. The defense had little counter. They attempted arguing Meathen had a history of psychosis, depression, and substance abuse, but the meticulously documented timeline left minimal doubt. As the prosecution emphasized, mental illness isn't justification for violent crime. Meathen hadn't lost control, he simply didn't belong in society. A pivotal trial moment came when one of Phoenix's old friends testified. She recalled receiving a text from Phoenix's number hours after her death. and knew immediately it wasn't her friend's voice. Her voice trembled. It was cold, detached, emotionless. The messages looked like someone else typed them. That small detail carried enormous weight. That moment delivered the final blow to Methan's facade. He lowered his head, clenched his hands, and avoided everyone's gaze. The verdict arrived on July 14, 2025. Life imprisonment with a minimum 23 years before parole eligibility. The courtroom fell silent. Methan showed no panic, no anger, no remorse. He simply accepted the sentence as if it had always been inevitable. From the family section came choked sobs. Many wept upon hearing the tragic story. Some called for the death penalty. Others quietly left, unable to bear it longer. Yet one undeniable truth remained. Taking a life is a cruel act, no matter how divided opinions may be. No matter what excuses a criminal offers, he cannot escape the consequences of his actions. Phoenix Spencer Horn died at just 21 years old. She had a radiant smile and dreams she still hoped to achieve, dreams cruelly cut short. Her death didn't just end a life, it extinguished a bright future. Friends and family were left devastated, and the town has yet to fully recover from the shock. If you found this case compelling, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We share crime case content regularly. Until next time, stay sharp and stay vigilant.